What's up, everyone? This is Tatum. I'm back with another episode of Fuck This Review. For those that's been subscribed to my channel and been following me for like the past year whatsoever, you know that I'm on this journey of finding, just reviewing classic albums, rather be rap, rock, R&B, just some albums that's considered classic. I want to see if they really hold up the test of time, you know? So today I'm continuing that journey. It's an album that it was actually kind of requested. I did Adele, a little quick backstory. I was reviewing Adele 21, and I mentioned that it's probably the best breakup album. And someone commented, and they suggested that I check out Bob Dylan's Blood on the Tracks. So here we are today. So today I'm going to be reviewing Bob Dylan, Blood on the Tracks. Blood on the Tracks is Bob Dylan's 15th album. It's freaking crazy. From what I've read, it's considered one of his best albums. And truth be honest, this is the first music of Bob Dylan that I ever listened to. I'm pretty sure I probably heard some of his songs like in passing, movies, commercials, just in life in general. But as far as sitting down and taking an actual body of work from him, this will be my first one. So I didn't know what to expect. All I knew was like I just knew like tidbits on how he sung just from movies and things of that nature. But my first thoughts on this album is that I think it was pretty good. I thought it was a very, very bluesy. One thing I've learned about Bob Dylan just from listening to this album is that he's an amazing storyteller. That's from the first two tracks you could get that, just his attention to detail while telling stories. And this album is very, very personal. Some of the songs obviously dealing with his divorce from his wife, but he's talking about love in general and also love like to, I guess it was like a maid or something. I forgot what it was, housekeeper maid, something like that. He had a song dedicated to her. It was just a bunch of stuff in here, and very emotional. Like you could feel his pain during a lot of these songs, especially songs like Idiot Wind. But I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I'm going to go through some of the tracks on here, talk about things I liked, some of the things I didn't, and just give my overall take on the album. So let's get into it. Don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. We just hit 1,800 subscribers, which is crazy. My goal this year was to get to 100K. So, that's just the goal for this year. So I know that some it might seem like out of reach, but that's my goal. So whatever. Let's get into it. First song we got in here, Tangled Up in Blue. And just my first thoughts on that, it comes on like a... how can I describe it? It comes on like a new beginning. That's what I get from the instrumental. Just instrumental alone, it sounds like a new beginning. But he goes into telling all these stories on how he found love. And I think it was a line in there, when I met her, she was married. Again, great storytelling. And then the funny thing that I noticed, not even so funny, but one of the tidbits I noticed about this album is that it's not a lot of hooks on here, right? So if you look at the lyrics on the sheet, it'll probably be just like verse, verse, verse. He has this way on certain songs on here, like Tangled Up in Blue, where he'll throw it at the end of the verse. So it kind of sums it up like a hook. Tangled up in blue. Like he'll just throw that at the end of the verse that just like complete it. That's just something I noticed while listening to it. Like he starts off, it seems like he's waking up and pondering about a woman or a relationship that he had before. And then it seems like he goes into the backstory of that, like setting the story up. It's like a movie in a way. That's what I meant by like great storytelling, is that it's so visual. Like to me, I could have this all wrong, by the way. Let me know in the comments, because, it starts off, it feels like him reminiscing on it, and then we go into the psyche and we start seeing, okay, she was married when he met her, this happened, that happened, you know what I mean? So that aspect of it, I just love the storytelling of it, just from a lyric standpoint. With that being said, it was a great opener. But it still left me wondering where we were going with the album, if that makes sense. Simple Twist of Fate, again, another song, very bluesy. Again, he closes out the verses with those simple twist of fate, like, so to close it up, so it does sound like a hook, but it's not really a hook to me, in the most traditional sense. But I did, to me though, coming after the first Tangled Up in Blue, I kind of was like, with Twist of Fate. But going into You're a Big Girl Now, which I think is my favorite song on here, just the whole tone and vibe of that record is so blue, to be truthfully honest with you. It sounds like I don't know, his vocal performance on there really, I really enjoyed the idea, that song, that guitar on there, that melody on there. It was just a perfect record. Like, again, the hook on here sounds like he's changed. Well, he is changing it each time. So he'll say like, "And I'm back in the rain, oh," and you on dry land, like. What? And then that guitar, dun, 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 dun. It's just my favorite song on here. Immediately, I ran this song back so many times just because it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful record. He said, "Love is so simple," to quote a phrase. You know it all the time. I'm learning these days. We go into Idiot Win, which is such Idiot Win. I'm gonna be truthfully honest with you. I don't know what that song's about, right? For the most part, like I get glimpses and hints here and there, like a line I'm gonna quote, but just his again vocal performance with that, and you can feel his pain in that. And also, Idiot Win comes on like, as a listener, I was just thrown into the song. Like, it was already playing, and I opened the door and walked in mid song. That's how Idiot Win came on. So at first, I was looking at my phone like, damn, did I miss a part of it? So I rounded back a couple times. Didn't. But one of my favorite lines from there, people see me all the time, and they just can't remember how to act. Their minds are filled with big ideas, images, and distorted facts. Even you, yesterday, you had to ask me where it was at. I couldn't believe after all these years you didn't know me any better than that. And that line, man, that line means so much. Like, that line means so much. When she asked where it was at, he couldn't believe after all these years. I would have thought you knew me better than that. Sometimes I think in love, all of us might feel that way at a certain time, or we have felt that way at a certain time. Like, damn, we known each other all this time. And because the thing with love, you just want to be like so understood and so loved that you don't have to tell you how to love me all the time, if that makes sense. So that's why that line stood out to me so much. I was like, damn, that's a. And then he's just singing like idiot win, like just screaming at it, like, and it's just like, damn, and it just keeps getting intense and intense to me. Like, the stakes of the song keeps raising. Probably one of my second favorite songs on here. Now, I didn't realize it till like now how I went so in depth about it, but yeah, one of my favorites. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Long title for sure, but only thing I can say about that, that's the one I believe it was about the housemaid after his wife. So take that with a grain of salt. I'm not sure how true that is. Song's cool. Meet Me in the Morning. A nice blues record. I really enjoyed that one. It just gave me that old school feel. And I got like a soft spot for like, don't tell anyone, but like that old, I just like old blues records. Like, they're simple, they get the point across. Yeah, I got to think for old blues records. Like, I don't know. So that just reminded me of one of those. So it's a cool record. Lily, Rosemary and the Jack of Hearts. I do not like that song. Not like in a bad way, but it just felt flat to me. It was way too long. And before Bob Dylan's fans start coming for me in the comments, I get it. It was just too much for me to listen to. Like, I zoned out a couple times. Each time I listened to it, I'd be like, oh shit, this song is still on. Like, the story just keeps going. And it was a quote Bob Dylan said about like how ballads used to be like continuous, and you didn't know when you would watch some artist sing like in clubs or whatever, and you wouldn't know when the song ends. And he said that kind of died when we go to movies now. Movies are so great. So when you do something, when you make a ballad that's a story, the story has to be great for the audience to even tune in. To me, it failed at that. Sorry. To me, it failed at that. But if anybody could give any more backstory, I get how, like, you never know how this scenario could affect that scenario, that connect to that scenario. It's like a butterfly effect song to me. That's what I got from it. But too long, too long. If you see her, say hello, which is like the dopest title to a song ever. Like, if you see her, tell her I said hello. Like, it's just, he had a line in there. He said, we had a falling out like lovers often will, and to think of how she left that night and still brings me chills. And though our separation has pierced me to the heart, she still lives inside of me. We've never been apart. What? I tell you, I might not be like this album didn't, I'll just tell you this straight here. This album didn't make me like a head over heels Bob Dylan fan in any type of way, but it sure made me admire his pen. It's pure poetry. I'll Shelter You from the Storm is another record where old school record. It feels bluesy, right? But it also is one of those records where he uses it again. It's not really a hook. He just puts the name of the title, closes up each verse. Coming in, she told me to come in. I'll shelter you from the storm. And I'm not sure if that's about his wife or finding new love. He's been through the storm and everything after the divorce and everything of that nature. Or was it previous, or was his wife that person to him? Let me know in the comments. I'm confusing myself. And I think we close out the album with Buckets of Rain. It's a line he said, life is sad, life is a bus, all you could do is do what you must. Just a great quote that like kind of close out the album, I guess. Like, I wouldn't say it was like a strong closer to me, because it's still kind of, I felt like I'm still like kind of left open on where I'll say it for my wrap up. Let me get into my best songs. You're a Big Girl Now, Idiot Win, and bump that, Shelter from the Storm. Worst song I mentioned already, Lily Rosemary and Jack of Hearts, in the Jack of Hearts. Best line, he said, love is simple. Love is so simple, to quote a phrase. You known it all the time. I'm learning these days. Very short, very sweet, straight to the point. If you don't understand that, your whole perspective is whack. As far as a rating, I'll give this album a 3.5 out of 5 fucks given. But let's wrap this up though. In closing, when it comes to Bob Dylan's Blood on the Tracks, cool album. I forgot, I wish I knew who suggested to me, but if you're watching this, thank you for the suggestion. Let me know in the comments. Give you a thumbs up for that. I'm not sure if it's the best breakup album though. I'm not sure if you were telling me that from a man's perspective. But I don't think it's the best breakup album. I felt like I was kind of left like, and this is a complaint, but I'll patch it up after I say this, but I felt like this album, though it was good and it showed glimpses of pain, I don't know how it wrapped up. Like, how did he just move on? Was this album closure for him? I'm pretty sure it's interviews and fans out there. Let me know in the comments. But on the flip side of that, as a person who's been through heartbreak or whatever, you can't really put a cap on it. Like, I got the emotions out. I'm not sure if maybe there isn't a closing to it. Like, it's emotions. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be forever evolving, and maybe at the time of this album he didn't have a closure. I don't know. I'm rambling, but that's what I got from it. Usually, what I loved about like 21 and most breakup albums, right? It's always like a closing thing to it. Like, let's put a cap on that. On to the next type thing, you know. And I don't feel like I got that from this album all the way, but it's not nothing to like really dig at the album about. That's pretty much it. As always, fuck this review. I'm Tatum.